to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dubston, and thank you for being here with me for our weekly overview for the week commencing the 10th of October 2022. As we work with this week, let's just cast our minds back to the finishing up of our deliverance energy from last week. We had Hexagram 40 deliverance, getting through a challenge, overcoming a challenge, and taking out that hawk on the high hill, finding a way of removing the obstacle and working towards a process of completion. What was the issue that you were able to smite? Okay, we had a follow-on energy from September, and we were able to just finish off this last little stage as we reached towards this process of completion. What were you completing? What did you overcome? What was the victory, the deliverance that you had an opportunity to work with and tap into last week? And I hope it was really significant and juicy for you, that you're in a totally new place this week. Okay, so let's get into it. This week, for the week, the 10th of October, we have a locked hexagram. And you know me, I love the changing lines. And this week we have one, we haven't had one in a while, where it's just a locked hexagram. There's just one hexagram, there's no change. This is what it is. And it's almost like it's a full stop, all right? And it's especially ironic considering the hexagram we have for this week. We have hexagram 33, retreat, okay? Full stop, okay. So with this hexagram, short and sweet, okay, the image we create is of being on the battlefield, all right? And having been watching lots of Lord of the Rings movies lately and Rings of Power, like, you know, there's kind of the orcs and the elves, and you're kind of on this battlefield, right? And you recognize that this group of enemies coming towards you, these orcs, are like genetically modified orcs, right? They are very powerful, and you don't quite yet have the manpower and the equipment as the team of elves, dwarves, you know, put yourself into whatever class you want to. You don't have enough power to fight this invading army, right? You've got to recognize, okay, ooh, warning, warning, warning. Maybe this is a little above our pay grade for now. And the best thing to do is to turn and command your armies out of the valley and into a place of safety, up into perhaps the crags or into caves, out of reach of the enemy, so that you can recuperate, re-weapon, okay, re-get organized for the next battle. So I also, you know, try and avoid kind of army war type symbols, because it's not something I subscribe to unless absolutely necessary. And so this image is quite difficult to work with, but it's the most appropriate way for us to understand this huge battle between forces of light and darkness, okay? So put in whatever big movie you want to go, Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever, you throw it at it, right? We have to recognize that when we are confronting a challenge, when we are trying to do something, that sometimes we just don't have the power to deal with this. We're just not ready, okay? Or it's just not our battle to face. It's someone else's drama that we've got drawn into. It's not even our war, okay? And then we retreat and we pull our forces back and we lick our wounds and we regroup and we rethink and we re-strategize and we just take a withdrawal. A strategic withdrawal is not a failure. It is a good choice in leadership if it's the right thing to do. So on one hand, you might find that for this week, okay, whether it's in your business, okay, this is a particular client project or something you're doing, or you're wanting to expand into something, or a relationship from a partnership point of view, or from a personal point of view, whether there's something that you are wanting to go and do. This week, what we are being asked to pay attention to is, do we have what it takes to take this thing on now? Okay. If we keep on saying yes to things, yes to projects, or yes to more work, all right, and we don't have the capacity to handle that work, do we have to reevaluate and say no to some things? Okay, because this can also be the energy of retreat, saying, I actually don't have the capacity in my team to handle this other work that's coming, okay? Or I don't have the time to say yes to this personal commitment. What do we need to withdraw from? What is negative and harmful for us that we need to strategically withdraw from for now? The other thing is, you might find that we are needing some rest this week, okay? So retreat can also be just taking some time out, literally a retreat, with incense and candles burning. Okay, so you might find that after this hectic push of deliverance and the completion and all the things we had last week and the intensity of September, that there's actually an opportunity to okay, take some time out. Okay, you have to use your own, life, look at your life and look at the things that you are up against to work out what path this is. Is this about withdrawing from the battlefield from something that is not right for you now? Or is this about rest? Is this about just going under the covers and just going into yourself, going into your own private space, getting some me time, taking time out, taking a few days off work? Like, what is this retreat for you? What is the thing that you are up against? That the I Ching is saying the way that we deal with this week is that we go inwards, we withdraw from the outside world. And it might be as simple as in your life right now, as you go about your daily work and you're going off to work or wherever it is that you find yourself, that you're just quiet. You just keep to yourself and you just keep your energy under wraps and you just withdraw a little bit from the dramas of the environment and you just give yourself a little bit of cotton wool, okay? Give yourself a little bit of personal breathing space, even if you are amongst lots of other people, okay? We can do that. We can just go like a tortoise back into their shell or a crab back in, okay? We can keep our eyes open and see what's happening, but we're just creating a little bit of a personal breathing space between ourselves and the world outside. And it's just for this week and it's locked, which means this is it. Full stop. Point. Period. End of story. Okay. So short and sweet, let's take time out. Let's recuperate. Let's reevaluate, okay, where we are and what we're up against and what things are no longer in our best interests, okay? If we keep on tackling and fighting the battle, will the orcs overrun us, or do we have the energy? Or do we have the energy at a later time if we can regroup? So, best wishes with a restful, rejuvenative, retreating week to build that personal boundary, take some time out, rejuvenate and rethink the next stage of your process. Thank you so much. Please like, share and subscribe. I'm looking forward to hearing your comments on last week's episode and what the energy unfolded for you. Please also join us on the socials. Look forward to seeing you there. And of course, I'll see you soon at our next weekly overview.